Welcome back, everybody. Now, today we're going to have a little bit of fun and do a quick recap of 2024, not from a portfolio performance perspective, because you guys will see that in my portfolio recap here in about a week, but just a general recap of 2024. I have some kind of best of moments that I want to share, and we'll just kind of hang out, have a drink together, and see how it goes. And I'm fully ready for all the dislikes for drinking on stream again. It's all good. Bring them on. Now, today we are again drinking Bullet Bourbon. It's normally what I drink if I'm not drinking tequila. And so let me pour this real quick and we'll get started. Again, ASMR channel forthcoming. I'm kidding. It's not. So here we go. Got my Bullet Bourbon. Not sponsored. I just enjoy it. But, if you know someone from there, let them know I'm a fan. Hat, t-shirt, or whatever. Oh, speaking of, you've probably noticed my shirt here. And yes, I had this custom made because I think it's funny and I like funny things. But as you can see, these are two of my favorite CEOs from my portfolio. One, obviously, who needs no introduction, is Jensen Huang from NVIDIA. And then also Mark Zuckerberg from Meta, but not just any Mark Zuckerberg. It's the fake beard and mustache Mark Zuckerberg that went viral earlier in the year because, I don't know, I just think it's hilarious. And how can I not be festive with all the gifts and gains that these two CEOs have brought to my portfolio in 2024? So I thought I'd represent them. All right, so let's get started with some of the best of things here of 2024. These are just kind of random. I didn't put too much thought into them, but I thought they'd be kind of fun, and we'll just see how it goes. Now, first off, the best outcome of the year. This is probably no surprise, but the answer is buying NVIDIA, which is up 50 to 60% since March. And since I made it my largest holding, it really contributed to my market-beating performance towards the end of the year. And the reality is buying NVIDIA in March and then adding to it in April to make it my biggest holding was really the best decision I made this year in terms of overall performance, because a lot of the market-beating performance, or the reason I was able to catch up to the S&P 500, was because of NVIDIA and some others like Amazon and all that, but they played a huge part in my portfolio's performance this year. And while everybody thinks NVIDIA is on the way down, I really don't think that's going to happen again. I think NVIDIA is way ahead in terms of GPUs, and we haven't really seen the impact of Blackwell yet, and we will in 2025. So I feel really good about NVIDIA being my top holding, or actually it's my number 2 holding, I think now, because Amazon was on a really good run. But regardless, NVIDIA, Meta, Amazon are my top 3 holdings, and I feel super good about them. All right, next up, worst outcome. And believe it or not, it happened earlier in the year. It was selling Walmart. Now, I sold Walmart on January 4th, and it's up over 77% versus the S&P being up over 28% in that same time frame. Now, Walmart was a smaller position in my portfolio, so it wouldn't have had the same impact that NVIDIA did, but clearly that was one that I just didn't really anticipate would do as well as they did this year. And, at the end of the day, they did it with about 5% revenue growth and 20% earnings growth. So really just an awesome year for Walmart shareholders. I just want you guys to know, when I showed my wife this Christmas shirt, she said, quote, "That is the most unattractive thing that I've ever seen you wear," which was really a bold statement because, when we met. Next up, let's talk about the YouTube channel a little bit and what were my most viewed videos in 2024. And we'll actually go straight to my analytics and see. Now, as you can see, my most viewed videos, my top 2 were actually videos from 2023. So the people are wrong about dividend stocks, here's why video, which is my most viewed video on my whole channel. It has over 1 million views, had close to 600,000 of those views in 2024. But technically it was published in 2023, so that doesn't really count. Now, the next one, again, was the Vanguard ETF video, which is real popular. It has, I think, a total of like over 600,000 views. Well, over 400,000 of those were in 2024. But again, it was published in October of 23. So the first video that was actually published in 2024 on this list was, is SCHD still worth it in 2024, with over 86,000 views. And what did I tell you guys about SCHD videos always getting views? Clearly, my most viewed video that I actually made in 2024 was about SCHD. And then next, if we go down, we see the 4 takeaways from Berkshire Hathaway's 2024 annual letter. And I know a lot of folks love that thumbnail of Warren Buffett kind of in the Archer style animation. And yeah, that one had over 77,000 views. And that one was kind of notable because it was the first Berkshire letter after Charlie Munger had passed away. And Warren did a really nice kind of write-up about Charlie in there. So I thought that was pretty cool that was one of the top ones. And then, next, really the only other one we'll talk about is this is what investors are missing about AI. And this was a very popular video, over 60,000 views, which is really cool. And I think that was one of the videos that really kind of jump-started my channel in terms of the AI content because I was really digging into it at that time. I'm still digging into it frequently, pretty much daily. And I think that's going to be something that continues. And I know there's probably some of you out there that don't really like the AI-related content. I just think it's such an important trend in general that you're probably going to be seeing more of it going forward. All right, so let's get to some of the best comments of the year. And I know that I focus a lot kind of on the critical comments in a lot of my videos, but the only reason I do that is because I think it's such a normal thing to experience anytime you try to talk about investing, whether it's in real life or especially online. There's always someone out there who's quick to tell you what you're doing is wrong, who's quick to tell you that you're stupid, or to just basically criticize whatever you do because apparently they know it all. And so a lot of the reason why I show those comments all the time is because I just want you guys to know that everybody deals with that. I deal with it. I mean, you see some of the comments that I get that are just either unnecessarily rude or nasty or just kind of ridiculous. But outside of showing them on the video, I rarely ever think about those comments at all. The ones that I do think about are the amazing comments I get from folks who were like, hey, this channel is awesome and I'm getting a lot of value out of it. And so just to highlight a couple that I really liked, your content is a beautiful mix of stock talking, super value info about things or thoughts related to stocks, and your personal experience with investing and life in general. This channel is a gem. Appreciate your positive attitude and effort you put into your videos. I invest in ETFs and individual stocks, always trying to learn. And I'm recommending your channel to friends as they start to invest as well. Thank you. I love it. Keep recommending it to your friends. All of you guys out there, recommend it to your friends. My favorite thing about your channel is that I feel like I'm chatting with a friend. You don't act superior. You don't act like you know something that we don't know. You acknowledge your wins and losses. And most importantly, you're always learning, and that's a sign of a good investor. It never feels like you're trying to sell us anything. Even if you are, I don't care. Please do what you can to try to keep it that way because it's refreshing. I mean, I don't really know what to say to something like that other than thank you. I'm happy and honored that people feel that way. I don't even know if we have similar investing styles. I'm new here. All I know is you just speak common sense, and that's a breath of fresh air, as you aren't trying to sell a certain way of investing while claiming that everything else is doomed to fail. And that's something we talk about a ton on this channel of everybody is like, oh, you got to invest this way or that way, and this way's wrong, and you're a trader, not an investor. That's still my favorite one. I'm probably going to keep talking about that forever. But it's so ridiculous because we can all make money in the way that's best for us. Validating our own investing style doesn't really mean anything in terms of achieving your actual goals. So, why do it? Just circling back to this video, I believe it was the first one I saw from you, and I've been subscribed ever since. I literally went from zero knowledge about the market in 2023, and your channel definitely helped me understand some of the technicalities in the game after I got my base level knowledge down. Thank you. Wishing you and your family nothing but the best. What's cool about this is someone actually took the time to go back to an old video that they saw probably over a year ago and just write a comment and say, hey, this is the first one I saw. I've got a ton of value. Love your channel. And there's not much to say about that other than that's awesome. And probably the best comment that I got wasn't a comment at all. It was actually an email that I got from someone after I sent out a newsletter on Father's Day. And in their response to me, they wrote, Happy Father's Day from a fellow dad and provider. Your blog post below is another resonant note, and I want to say thank you. Your channel found me at some point on the last month, and it's so connected that I voraciously consumed dozens of your videos, musings, recommendations, and writings. I have to tell you that I appreciate your perspective, knowledge, humility, and even-keeled delivery style. You're absolutely refreshing in what is an otherwise bombastic and crowded space. And while I've learned a lot from you, it's remarkable that my wife and 2 teenage daughters, who have otherwise expressed zero interest in investing content of others, find your videos truly engaging. They ask me a lot of questions and I answer what I can, of course, but I'm ecstatic for the opportunity to have this important dialogue with them. I mean, this stuff is like amazing, right? That someone is willing to share that type of thing with me. Obviously I'm a dad, and so that family stuff really hits me hard because I get it, right? You're a parent, you've learned, however you've learned about money over time, you want to pass that down to your kids. And the reality is that when you're young, or at least when I was young, I wasn't all that interested in it because I didn't really understand why it was important and what I needed to know about it. And so anything that I've ever done to help someone accomplish that, I'm super humbled and honored to be part of it. Hopefully that person, I sent them an email response back a long time ago when they sent this to me, but I'm hoping that they're still getting value from the channel, or if not, at least they got value for a period of time. And these are the type of things that just really motivate me to keep making videos, because you're like, wow, this is awesome. There's actually people who are getting value out of it, and it's helping them and their families. Awesome stuff. You know what I always notice in these videos? The tags are still on the bottom of my cup, which means that we've had these glasses for I don't know how long, and we never took off the tag with the barcode on it. So we wash it, we put it in the dishwasher, we do that, and the tag's still there. You know what that says? That says classy. That's what that says. Okay, so let's move on to something else. This is an award that I'm calling the funniest meme that no one even mentioned or talked about in the comments. And this is actually a recent one from my Alpha Picks video, because I talked about their quant team and how it reminded me of The Big Short.
That's my quant.
Your what?
My quantitative. My math specialist. Look at him. You notice anything different about him?
And I just have to tell you, like, when I was editing that video and I put that in there, I was like laughing out loud. Now, maybe I'm just a dork and I think things are funny that people don't think are funny, but I was dying. Like, I thought it was hilarious, and not one person talked about it in the comments. So I don't know. I'm just a loser. So now if we move on to actual important things, there were a couple really cool family moments that happened recently that I thought I wanted to share. So one of them actually was a couple months back, but my daughter and her middle school volleyball team actually won districts. They went undefeated, and she was crushing it. She played really great. She was one of the players that actually played the full rotation, like she didn't come out. And, we're super proud of her. That was really awesome. And the other thing that just happened a couple weekends ago is our son actually graduated from college. So he's like a full-fledged adult that has a degree now and is going to go try to figure out what he's going to do with that. But, if you're a parent, you know how big that is in terms of not only for them and a great accomplishment for them, but it's an accomplishment for the parents, because you're like, oh, thank God they're done. Now we can kind of move on to the, okay, let's get a job and kind of do all that thing. So again, to me, those are the type of things that actually matter. Like, money is simply a tool for us to provide for our loved ones and to be able to live the type of life that we want to live. Like, you shouldn't make it your whole personality. All right, so let's go back and talk about the YouTube channel overall and how it did in 2024. Now, in 2024, we got a whopping 2.3 million views, which was 58% better than last year, and 205,000 hours of watch time, which is up 69% from 2023. Then in terms of subscribers, we're up 21,000 subscribers in 2024 alone, which is up 16%. And I was actually thinking about this as to, when you look at those numbers, the views and the watch time are up, really big numbers. And then subscribers, it's up 16%, which is good, but that's a lot lower than the other ones. And I was trying to figure out, was there a reason for that? It wasn't like that in 2023. And when I started looking at the data a little bit more, it's pretty interesting because, as you guys know, I kind of changed the stocks that I had in my portfolio throughout the year, especially at the beginning of the year. And I think that contributed to the fact that I had more subscribers lost in 2024 than I did in 2023. So I'm sure there's probably out there who were like, you know what? I liked this channel before because he was talking about SCHD, or he was talking about companies like Hershey, but now he's talking about Amazon and Nvidia, and it's just not the channel for me anymore. That's cool. Like, I totally respect that. And overall, having 16% growth anywhere is pretty solid growth. So it's going to be one of those things where I don't really think about it too much. Like, I'm just going to make videos that happen to make sense with whatever's going on in the market, what's going on with my portfolio. And there's going to be people who like it or who want to follow along, and others who don't. And that's totally fine. But overall, no matter how you look at it, this has been a really solid year. I mean, 2.3 million views is insane. 205,000 watch hours. I mean, that's just crazy to me when I start thinking about how much time that actually is. All right, so let's actually talk about what you should expect from me in 2025. But first, let's actually go back to what I said last year at the end of the year of what I expected to be doing in 2024. So what I said in my last video last year was, I wanted to do 3 videos a week. I wanted to expand into written stuff with a newsletter. And I wanted to work on the Build, Invest, Live website to make it the best place for learning about stocks. Now, I'm a pretty tough critic on myself in general, but I think it's pretty easy to say that I completely failed at all 3 of those things in 2024. Like, I had some weeks that I had 3 videos, but I definitely didn't come close to averaging that at all, like not even close. I did the newsletter thing for a while, but then I eventually kind of stopped it. And I worked on multiple kind of courses, community experiments in 2024, and product experiments in 2024, and nothing really stuck. But here's the thing. I'm actually totally fine with failing at all those in 2024 because now that I think about it more and I've gone through this year, I think it was just the wrong goal in general. Because here's the problem with doing 3 videos plus a newsletter and a website is that you don't want to be spending the majority of your week listening to me. And believe it or not, there's other things that I'd rather be doing with my time than just always creating content. So what I'm going to be doing for 2025 is trying to be more efficient and focused with how I make videos and other content. So first off, expect 2 videos a week most of the time. Now, there may be times when I do 3, depending on what's going on. Maybe there's a big news story. Maybe one's a portfolio recap, so I'll add another video in that week. But for the most part, I would expect about 2 a week. Also, expect shorter videos. Like, my videos started to get a little bit longer in 2024, and I may still have some long ones in there from time to time, but I'm going to try to average about 10 to 15 minutes of video just because people's time is valuable, right? People will see a 25-minute video and be like, you know what? I don't want to watch that long of a video, especially if this isn't the only channel that you're watching, which my first question is, why isn't this the only channel you're watching? But the whole point is you have better things to do in your life than just listen to me. So I'm going to try to do my part and make it easier for you. And those of you that have signed up for my newsletter, I know you haven't gotten one in a while. You will start getting them again, but they're going to be maybe every other week, maybe every 3 weeks, and they're going to be shorter. Overall, I'm aiming for about 30 minutes of content each week, spread across obviously YouTube videos, a newsletter, and then anything that you might see from me on, say, Instagram or X. And I think that's a reasonable amount of time to be like, hey, hang out with me for about 30 minutes a week and then go continue doing whatever you need to do. Now, in terms of the Build, Invest, Live website, in January, I'm going to be opening up some coaching spots on my calendar for folks who want to work with me directly, and specifically for getting them set up with their own strategy, how to monitor their progress, and how to actually analyze stocks in a way that aligns with the strategy that they created. So basically all the stuff you see me do on the channel for myself, but working one-on-one with folks to get them set up in their own process. And I may build some additional things into it over time, but I really think this is something that I might actually enjoy doing because it's allowing me to work with someone on an individual basis and actually help them get started in their own specific situation, which to me works a lot better than trying to just make general stuff for everybody. So if you're interested in that or hearing more about it, check out the link in the description to get notified whenever it's available. All right, so lastly, I just wanted to share with you guys a tradition that we have in our household every Christmas. On Christmas Eve, we get together as a family, my wife, my kids, our dog, and we watch It's a Wonderful Life together. And it's something that I've started to do as a tradition every year because I love that movie, I love the message of that movie, and I want my kids to have the message of that movie as well. So it's something that I require every year. Everyone knows this is the one thing I ask for every year. On Christmas Eve, we're together, we're watching the movie together, and we're enjoying it, or at least I'm enjoying it. My kids, they're probably asleep half the time. It's one of those things where the movie has such a great message for pretty much any time of year, but especially this time of year. So I'm just trying to indoctrinate my kids to it by kind of forcing them to watch it every single year. So we're going to be doing that tonight, and I couldn't be more excited. It is literally my favorite day of the entire year. So I just want to wish you all a very Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, or whatever you celebrate out there. I hope you get a chance to actually celebrate it with your loved ones. And I would say Happy New Year's, but you guys are going to see me again a couple times before then. If you guys have any of your own holiday traditions that you're willing to share, I'd love to hear about them down in the comments below. Now, if you guys want to know what I think Big Tech's going to do in 2025, since it makes up the bulk of my portfolio, you can watch the video I made about that by clicking this right here. Hope you guys have a great day out there. Financial independence is true freedom, so keep building and stacking wins, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.